Hey everyone, Mr. Sugiano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I'm not camping, I'm not at home, I'm at a place called The Loft on St. Paul in Belleville, Ontario for Mrs. Sugiano Stuff, the average tourist. And I'm going to do my news from here because we've got a lot of news to talk about, and well, we do a video almost every single day. So first up on the docket, we're talking about something we don't normally talk about, and that's Xbox One emulation, or rather the Xbox One emulation scene, or I guess Xbox One translation, depending on how you want to go about it. Anyways, here we're talking about Windurango. And Windurango has just booted up Minecraft. Now it is worth pointing out there's a huge difference between bootable and playable, but at the same time, progress is progress, and I would say this is a breakthrough. This person here sums it up very well. Awesome to see, even though the Xbox One doesn't have a huge exclusives library. It is still great that what is there will be preserved. Even this version of Minecraft has some things over what is currently able to be emulated. And someone else here says, finally, we can play UFC and Halo 5 on PC. Now that is a little bit ambitious, but at the same time here, who knows? Maybe at some point in the future this will be possible. We'll have to wait and see here, and it's worth pointing out the game gets to the title screen, crashes when any button on the title screen is pressed, and text does not render. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts about Windurango and I guess the Xbox One emulation scene. And like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom if you wanted to learn more about it. And speaking about progress, next up here we're talking about PlayStation emulation on Android with Duckstation. And out of the blue, Stenzek has been updating Duckstation. There's been some tiny performance improvements, bug fixes, and even more. Now, this hasn't been on the Google Play Store just yet, but if you wanted to check this stuff out, you can pick it up right from Duckstation's website. Well, Stenzek seems to have been pretty hard at work on this one since December, and well, if you take a look over on their website, you'll want to pick up the preview beta APK if you wanted to check out these changes. It's not on the Google Play Store. I don't know when it's going to be updated to the Google Play Store, if it will be. But at the same time here, if you want an early peek where there may be some bugs, maybe some issues, feel free to check it out. Moving on, and next up we're talking about Half-Life. And if you're a fan of Half-Life mods and I guess Half-Life fan games, you may be a fan of this news here. So Black Mesa Military has just dropped, and they say here it's finally playable from beginning to end. The mod is up over on ModDB, and taking a look at the ratings right now, it's doing pretty good. It's got an 8.2 rating. So Black Mesa Military, they say this update is a very significant one because the mod is fully playable from start to finish with an ending. And the mod was initially planned to be a simple map pack for Black Mesa, but it has become a solid modification which is constantly evolving and improving over the years. I think this thing has been in development since like 2018. And why not just do a giveaway here, have some fun? I'm going to give away a random Steam key to a random person. All you have to do is send an email to giveaway@mrsugiano.com with the answer to this question. What tune is this and what game is it from? I might mess this up a little bit, I'm not a musician. Just playing it once, giveaway@mrsugiano.com with your answer, and I'll choose one lucky person in, I don't know, a couple of weeks or so. Next up here, we're talking about Switch 2 rumors, and I know a lot of you have already been sick of those rumors, and well, I did troll a few people yesterday, and I do apologize for that. I don't apologize at the same time. It was hilarious. Come on now. If you know my humor, if you know my style, it was completely on point, and I did put a little asterisk in the screenshot there, and most people got that. Anyways, here, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, and it turns out that, I guess Xbox appears to be very interested in bringing two major Xbox series to the Switch 2. One of those is reported to be, no surprise, Halo. Now this is just a rumor, so who the heck knows moving forward, but we'll have to wait and see. And as for the other series here, the other series is supposed to be Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't know about that one, but we'll have to wait and see. And I mean, if this is true, if Xbox is bringing more stuff to the Switch, I think that would widen the audience of people who are interested in a Switch. I mean, if the Switch can play all of this stuff, play Halo, play all of that, and is portable, people may be interested. On top of that, those games are rumored to also be headed to the PS5, which is absolutely no surprise to me. And on a side note here, and this one's interesting, anyways, Nintendo has responded to Switch 2 CES leaks. If you remember, we talked about this one where a company had printed a 3D printed model of the new Switch 2 and were showing it off behind closed doors. Anyways, Nintendo responded, and well, the response is kind of nothing, but it's interesting that they responded in the first place. They said, "These images and videos are not official." A little bit of a nothing burger, but I mean, at the same time, I'm surprised they even acknowledged it. Next up here, we're talking about Square Enix, and Square Enix has a new policy to protect employees from toxic fans. Now, there is something I wanted to point out here, and I'll lead in with this. The Android emulation community sometimes gets a bad rap. There are some bad apples in there who harass developers. I mean, Android emulator developers are pretty easily accessible if you wanted to get a hold of them. And there are some bad apples in there who will harass them and be angry, for example, on why an emulator won't work on their potato phone. I mean, it happens, and well, it's just not a really good experience for a lot of Android developers out there, a lot of Android emulator developers out there. And anyways, the Android emulation community, without rambling, gets a bad rap for a lot of this stuff. However, and I'm not downplaying the bad apples within the Android emulation community. I mean, I think almost every single community out there has some bad apples in it. But it appears the video game community, just in general, has some real bad apples, and some of this stuff here is crazy. Like everything we talk about, link will be in the description below at the bottom. Video Games Chronicle has it covered in a lot of detail. And I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I mean, in today's day and age, it's just people should know better. People should know that this stuff is completely unacceptable in the first place. But I mean, under harassment, they have active violence, violent behavior. They have persistent inquiries, repeated visits, trespassing, unlawful restraint. They have stalking and repeated stalking behavior. This is crazy, and if they've been experiencing this, like, holy smokes. Now, I was debating whether or not to actually include this in my video, but I mean, at the same time, I do want to get a message across, and that's just be kind and nice to people. There's no reason to get upset and violent and all of that crazy stuff. At the end of the day, we're all just people here living on a rock floating through space, and I mean, none of it matters at all at the end of the day. Video games, nothing matters at the end of the day. So just be nice to people, enjoy life, and that's about it. I don't understand it, and I don't think I ever will. But moving on from all of that, and if you are commenting on that, just please be respectful in the comments below. Anyways, talking about understanding or not understanding stuff. Next up, we're talking about 8BitDo. And 8BitDo really understands their product, the Micro and 02 gamepad. It appears they've just introduced a brand new vertical handheld grip thing for your phone. They're calling this one the 8BitDo or 8BitDo, or subscribe to Mr. Sujano, however you wanted to pronounce that. The 8BitDo Micro 02 clip. And it's just 10 bucks. It clips onto the bottom of your phone. You can play in portrait mode and use one of those tiny controllers. I would say that seems pretty convenient. And speaking about controllers, next up here, we're talking about the MCON. Now, we've talked about the MCON mobile controller a few times on this channel. Anyways, here, their Kickstarter is going extremely well. This is more of just an update here, but their Kickstarter has like 31 days left to go, and they've already raised over $1 million. They asked for $25,000 to produce this thing. So obviously it is very, very popular. A lot of people are looking forward to it. And this Kickstarter is crazy successful. This is a smash hit. Next up here, we're talking about Fortnite. And it just feels that Fortnite has pretty much every single collaboration possible. Well, it's being reported that Dante from Devil May Cry series is going to be in Fortnite. Anyways, it's just a rumor right now, but where there's smoke, there's fire. And when this stuff leaks for Fortnite, it's generally true. Anyways, here, not surprised at all to see this one. Would be surprised to see someone like Virgil in it. Hopefully it's not just Dante, but I mean, at the same time, if you play Fortnite, that may be a cool collab. Next up here, we're talking about the AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT. Now, we've talked about this one in the past, and AMD has been pretty quiet on the overall specs. Well, some online retailer in the Philippines has broken down the specs and leaked everything, including the price. So it appears this thing is going to be priced at $600 overall and has 4,096 cores. Now, it is worth pointing out that price of $600 is with tax. Without tax, it's 535 bucks. Let me know your thoughts about that price point for the 9070 XT. I keep getting this one mixed up with NVIDIA just due to the naming convention. I mean, AMD really trolled NVIDIA with that name. Anyways, here it's just, well, the price is lower than previously rumored. I think it was rumored at around, I don't know, between 550 to 750. So if true, it's coming in slightly lower than that, and I think some people may be happy. Again, I don't know real world performance numbers, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. If you're interested in seeing more about the loft where we're staying, you can head over to Mrs. Sujano's YouTube and Instagram stuff. I'll leave that in the description below. And we did talk about a bunch today. If you wanted to discuss any of it, do so in the comments below, and I do read the comments. I'm very interested in what a lot of you have to say. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.